We live in an age that worships freedom. We post quotes about it, fight wars for it, and shame those who threaten it. And yet, whenever a strong man rises, confident and ruthless, the world pauses. Some people whisper, he's dangerous, but others feel something different, something they can't quite admit. A strange mix of fear and fascination. Because dictators, no matter how brutal, carry an aura of certainty, a gravity that pulls us in. They don't beg for validation, they command it. And somewhere inside us, something ancient responds. We think we despise them, but maybe, just maybe, we envy them. This is not about politics, it's about psychology. It's about that hidden part of the human animal that craves order, clarity, and a single voice telling us what's right. It's about the secret attraction we feel toward those who dare to do what we never could control everything. Every human life begins with submission. As children, we depend completely on authority parents, teachers, rules, systems. We learn early that safety comes from obedience. Then we grow up and the world tells us we are free to choose, to think, to decide. But freedom is exhausting. Too many options, too much responsibility. Every decision carries anxiety. Dictators remove that burden. They transform chaos into clarity. They say, don't worry, I will decide what's true. And deep inside, something in us exhales because freedom demands maturity, but control gives comfort. And the human mind, even after thousands of years of evolution, still confuses safety with submission. The dictator does not just dominate others, he reflects the fantasy we all carry, the fantasy of being untouchable. In our daily lives, we compromise, we suppress, we conform, but inside, that's a version of us that wants to say, no one tells me what to do. That inner voice, that hunger for total self rule, is the seed for which dictators grow. They act out of the freedom of ego to bend reality itself. They live the life of zero restraint, zero guilt. They are the raw, unfiltered version of what power feels like before morality dilutes it. And when we watch them, part of us trembles and part of us admires because they are not just villains, they are projections of our own forbidden selves. That's why totalitarian figures don't just gain followers, they gain believers. Because in their confidence, we glimpse our own suppressed desires to be feared, to be obeyed, to be the one who decides what's right. You have probably heard of the Milgram experiment. Ordinary people ordered to shock others, and most obeyed, even when they thought that were causing real pain. That was not a story about cruelty. It was a story about comfort. That comfort of obedience. Obedience gives us something freedom never can. The relief of not having to think. When an authority tells you what's right, you don't have to wrestle with guilt or confusion. You just follow. Dictators understand this perfectly. They don't conquer through logic. They conquer through structure, through making obedience feel righteous. They say, I'm not taking away your freedom. I'm saving you from chaos. And that's all people need to hear. Because in a world of uncertainty, certainty feels like love. Freedom is unpredictable. It breeds noise, disagreement, and discomfort. But dictatorship offers the opposite: silence, simplicity, stability. That's why dictators always rise from chaos. When people lose jobs, when identities crumble, when society feels morally adrift, someone appears and says, I can fix it. And we listen because deep down, humans don't crave freedom. We crave predictability. We crave the feeling that someone knows what's going on. Democracy gives us responsibility. Dictatorship gives us rest. And rest is addictive, especially when the world feels like it's spinning out of control. Dictators don't sell oppression, they sell security. They tell you stories of decline. We have lost our way. We have become weak. Then they present themselves as the cure. They frame their rise not as domination, but as salvation. Not as a coup, but as healing. The people don't chant for tyranny. They chant for safety, for pride, for unity. Every dictator is a storyteller. They rewrite history so that fear looks like a loyalty and obedience looks like patriotism. They understand the secret of mass psychology. If you can control the story, you don't need to control the people. They will control themselves. In a democracy, we must tolerate contradiction. We must accept that truth is messy and constantly changing. But dictators erase that complexity. They replace confusion with clarity, ambiguity with slogans, debate with faith, and faith feels good. Faith feels clean. To question is exhausting, but to believe, that's bliss. That's the seduction, not of violence, but of simplicity. When a dictator speaks, the world stops being uncertain. Everything suddenly makes sense because one voice tells you what's real. That's why propaganda does not just brainwash people, it comforts them. It makes life coherent again, and coherence feels like truth, even when it's a lie. Dictators don't appear out of nowhere, they rise from collective exhaustion, from millions of people who quietly say, I'm tired of thinking, I'm tired of choosing, I just want someone to lead. The dictator and the crowd are two halves of the same organism. He feeds on their fear and they feed on his confidence. He offers them destiny, they offer him devotion. That's why every dictator needs an audience. Because without believers, he's just a madman shouting in an empty hall. It's the crowd that transforms madness into power. We love them because they make us feel like we are part of something bigger. And that illusion of unity, of belonging, is stronger than truth. Even the atrocities, the cruelty, the censorship, we rationalize them because they are part of the greater story. We tell ourselves, it's for our protection, it's for the nation, it's for the cause, but really, it's for our own psychological safety. We'd rather belong to a lie than stand alone with the truth. Every human being carries a little tyrant inside. That voice that says, I am right, they are wrong, that argue to silence people who disagree, that thrill of control over others, over your surroundings, over how people see you. Social media has made this worse. Every profile is a tiny kingdom. Every opinion is a decree. Every follower is validation. Dictatorship is not just political anymore. It's psychological. It's in every relationship where one person dominates. It's in every mind that refuses to listen. It's in every ego that can't bear uncertainty. We point at tyrants as monsters, but sometimes they are just what we would become if we were powerful enough to never hear no again. Real freedom is not thrilling, it's terrifying. It means accepting that no one has all the answers, that truth is fragile, that life is chaos and no leader can truly fix it. Dictators promise to take that pain away, and we let them because they do something democracy never can. They make us feel certain. They give us heroes and enemies. They simplify a complex world into black and white. They free us not from operation but from the responsibility of thinking. That's the freedom we secretly hate and the slavery we secretly love. So the next time you see a dictator rise, don't just ask, how could people follow him? Ask, what were they escaping from? Because no dictator conquers by force alone. They conquer through a trade. They offer meaning in exchange for thought. And we accept because meaning is rare and confusion is unbearable. Maybe that's why we secretly love dictators, because they are the mirror we can't look away from, the reflection of our deepest fear. That we don't really want freedom. We just want someone to make the pain of choice disappear. Dictators don't come from power, they come from weakness, from ours. And as long as we keep craving certainty over truth, we will keep creating them again and again.